All righty, good morning. We'll call the meeting to order of the Delaware County Council this August 26, 2025, 9 a.m. If we'd all stand for the pledge. Commissioner Brand, would you lead us, please?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, roll call, please.
Mr. Rookout.
Present.
Mr. Flanagan.
Here.
Mr. Mokel.
Here.
Mr. Hughes.
Here.
Mr. Cantz.
Yes.
Ms. Piper.
Here.
Mr. Wyatt.
Here.
Mr. Freeman.
Here.
All righty, was the agenda posted as needed?
Yes.
All right. You all have the agenda in front of you. Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Piper, second by Mr. Flanagan. Roll call.
Mr. Flanagan.
Yes.
Mr. Hughes.
Yes.
Mr. Mokel.
Yes.
Mr. Rookout.
Yes.
Ms. Piper.
Yes.
Mr. Cantz.
Yes.
Mr. Wyatt.
Yes. All righty, last month we tabled the June 24th council meeting minutes. I assume everybody has received a copy of this. We'd like to take it off the table.
Second.
Motion by Dan to remove it off the table, second by Jessica. Roll call.
Mr. Flanagan.
Yes.
Mr. Hughes.
Yes.
Mr. Mokel.
Yes.
Mr. Rookout.
Yes.
Ms. Piper.
Yes.
Mr. Cantz.
Yes.
Mr. Wyatt.
Yes. It's the council's pleasure with those minutes.
I'll move to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Motion by Jessica, second by Dan. Any corrections or comments? Are you pleased with what you've seen from the AI generated minutes?
Yeah, and the July ones, I think, came out pretty good too.
All righty. Roll call.
Mr. Flanagan.
Yes.
Mr. Hughes.
Yes.
Mr. Mokel.
Yes.
Mr. Rookout.
Yes.
Ms. Piper.
Yes.
Mr. Cantz.
Yes.
Mr. Wyatt.
Yes. Moving on to the July 22nd council meeting minutes.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Motion by Jessica, second by Dan. Any comments or corrections? Roll call, please.
Mr. Flanagan.
Yes.
Mr. Hughes.
Yes.
Mr. Mokel.
Abstain.
Mr. Rookout.
Yes.
Ms. Piper.
Yes.
Mr. Cantz.
Yes.
Mr. Wyatt.
Yes. Thank you. Moving right on into transfers. Elizabeth, please.
Okay. Starting outside of county general, 8199 opioid response, 231 other supplies, negative 7,200. 310 professional services, positive 7,200, total transfer 0.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Jessica, second by Dan.
Good morning, Jane Miranda, Community Corrections. This is part of our opioid grant that we share with adult probation. The state stated this year that they cannot use the $7,200 to purchase gift cards for probationers, which is what they always use them for. So probation has decided to do a scholarship program for those on probation to help them pay for classes and assessments at community corrections when they are court-ordered those classes. So this money will go towards probationers for their classes.
Thank you, Jane. Any questions? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Flanagan.
Yes.
Mr. Hughes.
Yes.
Mr. Cantz.
Yes.
Mr. Mokel.
Yes.
Mr. Rookout.
Yes.
Ms. Piper.
Yes.
Mr. Wyatt.
Yes. Thank you, Jane. All right, moving on to the addendum.
Right. In county general, 138 courts, 311 contractual services, negative $8,673.72. 536 equipment, positive $8,673.72, total transfer 0.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Jessica, second by Dan.
Good morning.
Update. Good morning.
Emily Anderson, Court Administrator. Everyone should have a copy of the quotes. I think I got it to everybody. This is for the juvenile courtroom upgrade. And so in the in the budget hearings last year, you all approved the upgrade under the 311 series, just under contractual services. This is to purchase the furniture that we need in that contract. So you have the quotes in front of you. for the furniture that we're getting through the Vizient. Stephen, is that right, Vizient? I keep forgetting. Which we're getting quite a pretty good deal with all of the furniture we're purchasing. I wanted to provide the quotes so you'd see that. This will be for chairs, the electrical outlets that go into the tables, no, she got tables from somewhere else for free. I think it's just chairs and then the electrical outlets that go in the tables.
All right, any questions for Emily?
So this will finish the project?
No, this is just buying the furniture, so now we are working with Pride Mark on the actual upgrade. They're supposed to be getting us that final quote. We've been asking for it for the past 30 days. But that will be under the 311, which is already appropriated. We're just moving this money into 500s to purchase the furniture.
But there won't need to be any additional
No,
appropriation? Thank
we're
you.
working with the budget we were given.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Emily. Any further questions? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Ms. Flanagan.
Yes.
Mr. Hughes.
Yes.
Mr. Cantz.
Yes.
Mr. Mokel.
Yes.
Mr. Bookout.
Yes.
Ms. Piper.
Yes.
Mr. Wyatt.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you. All right, moving on to public defender, Elizabeth.
Right. 139 public defender, 172 perf, negative 1,650. 175 disability insurance, positive $400. 174 life insurance, positive $1,250 for a total transfer zero.
Move to approve?
Second?
Motion by Jessica, second by Dan. Can you give us a little update, please?
Yes, Shelley Harvey, Public Defender's Office. We have a overrun in perf. We had some time where there were some employees who were gone. And our disability insurance and life insurance lines were gonna run short at the end of the year. So I just went ahead and asked to move money out of perf and into those two insurance lines for the rest, so we can get through the rest of the year.
All righty, any further questions? All right, hearing none, roll call, please.
Ms. Flanagan.
Yes.
Mr. Hughes.
Yes.
Mr. Cantz.
Yes.
Mr. Mokel.
Yes.
Mr. Bookout.
Yes.
Ms. Piper.
Yes.
Mr. Wyatt.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you, Shelley. All right, moving on to appropriations, Elizabeth.
In County General, 145 jail, 311 contractual services, $150,000 for a total of $150,000.
Move to approve?
Second?
Motion by Jessica, second by Dan. Nancy, you want to give us some details, please?
Nancy Marvin, Sheriff's Office.
Nancy, can you move that mic up?
Sure.
Speak into the mic when you come to the podium, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
This is for off-site medical services, medications for inmates. That's what this whole thing is about.
Any questions for Nancy?
What was the budget for this line item, please?
The original budget,
Yeah.
honestly, I don't remember.
It's in our book.
Please hold.
Nowhere near what it needed to be.
While Jessica's looking that up, I'm gonna ask you the same question I asked earlier. Do you believe this will get you through the end of the year?
That is what I have anticipated this to be, yes. But I will tell you up front, it only takes one inmate that requires psychotropic meds or AIDS medications or anything like that, dialysis. And that'll blow everything. I mean, I'm already working with that now. All those things I'm already dealing with, but it takes one more to add on to it and it's gonna blow it out the water.
So we budgeted 287.5, am I reading that? No, that's wrong, sorry.
So our budget for 2025, according to the book, is saying that was 808,482.
No. That contractual services line contains my medical contract, that contains our food contract, and then that contains the medications. All of those things are rolled into one line now.
It is on that same line, is what she's saying.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was a total for the 311 contractual
Right.
services.
Yeah.
Right.
So should this be a line that we can break out?
Well, it's easier on me if you can break it out. I mean, I keep it in my paperwork separated, yes. So I can make sure I have enough on the food line and so if I can be specific to you what we need more money for.
Is that doable?
That was the whole point of conversion, is putting them all together, sorry.
Yeah.
You can speak in Elizabeth's mic, it's fine.
Tanya Dunsmore, Chief Deputy Auditor. The whole point of conversion and combining was so that across streamlining it, as far as it's all contractual services to an auditor, to the state, in that concept, it's all one thing.
Right.
To her, she has to have the breakdown. She has the breakdown. She just doesn't have it here with her.
Yeah, well, I guess my point is, the medical component is a variable. The other ones are generally, we know we're gonna pay for food, I mean, we have a contract on the food service now. What was the other things?
The medical contract itself, I have a set amount
Yeah,
of what it will be. It's the medications that are just
Okay.
all over the board.
okay.
I'm sure it can all be discussed with Ed and, you know. you guys-
Yeah, I'm just, we're gonna hear a similar thing with like liability. We have claims. We don't know what the claims are gonna be. We budget a certain amount for the claim or for the line item, and we're appropriating, we're pushing $2 million now. So like, those variable numbers, are what kill us typically. So it's just identifying them perhaps a little bit simpler, but if not, that's what we deal with. But-
Right.
Okay.
Further questions for Nancy?
Or maybe during budget next week, when we're getting to your line for contractual services, if you could break that down, how you have that contractual services, so we kind of can
What
write
each
it in our
one is.
book and go back and refer to it, that we
Right.
understand better. If it's gonna be, because we streamlined everything, I get that, but if there's anyone else that has something similar coming in budget, if you have that breakdown for us, that you could help us understand, we can write that in a book and keep that for ourselves, that might be a good way for us to track
Yep.
independently.
With
Which I do
OpenGov,
have that.
that breakdown is
It
available.
will be there.
Oh,
It
it
is
is.
available,
Well,
if
Beautiful.
they
the
put it
department do
in.
it.
I do believe she put hers
I
in.
did.
That's
I
lovely.
broke every bit of it down, so yes, you have the mass amount, but then each individual section
Okay,
of what they are.
perfect. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any further questions for Nancy? All right, hearing none, roll call.
Ms. Flanagan.
Yes.
Mr. Hughes.
Yes.
Mr. Cantz.
Yes.
Ms. Mokel.
Yes,
Ms. Cookout.
Yes.
Ms. Piper.
Yes.
Mr. Wyatt.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. All right, moving on to the commissioners. Elizabeth?
153 commissioners, 341 liability insurance, $652,396.50 for a total of $652,396.50.
Move to approve?
Second. Motion by Jessica, second by Dan. Commissioner Brand.
Morning, Council. Stephen Brand, Delaware County Commissioner's Office. Sorry this has taken a little bit of time to work out, but it appears that our liability risk insurance has not been budgeted to the appropriate level for at least the last 3 years. As such, you've got a piece of paper in front of you that I handed out before the meeting. $1,293,031 is our actual premium. And when we renewed with USI back in the end of the first quarter this year, we negotiated that would be paid twice a year. It was being paid more often than that before, but we wanted it to be twice a year to keep the money in our account so we could collect the interest prior to laying out that premium. What was budgeted back a year ago was $982,147. Why we didn't at least budget the premiums, I can't speak to that, but that's the fact. And if you look back historically, that's also been the fact. In 2023, the budget was $623,320. The actual was $1,143,465. In 2024, the budget was $892,861, and the actual was $1,155,172.90. So it looks like the budget for 25, President Whitehead figured this out a little bit ago, was the 2024 budget of $892,861 plus 10%. That brings you to the $982,147.10, but that's not what was budgeted. So we're $310,884 short of budget just to the premiums, not including the claims, okay? So the average cost of the claims, we had Mark Gary from USI go back and give us the last 5 years running average of claims, and that averages out to $250,637 a year. That's the average over the last 5 years. So at a minimum, we should have budgeted $1,293,031 plus $250,637. In addition, we've already received some bills this year, and we were short in the budget line item, so we've moved $83,000 from, I believe, about a half a dozen other line items to pay for this. They were within the commissioner's budget, so that was moved. So to make the budget whole, plus the anticipated $250,000, we would need $644,521 in additional appropriation. So what's due immediately is we have a bill that's due by September 1st, and that amount is $168,928. That's due by September 1st, and then we would have at least one more quarterly payment for automobile. The automobile's stolen quarterly, but the premiums are on biannual, and that quarterly automobile would be $84,464. So minimum to replace the lines, the $83,000, plus the what's due of $168,928. The minimum appropriation that we would need today would be $251,928.
I didn't bring this up earlier, but I forgot. The 83 that's being pulled from other lines was available funds, but, and you don't necessarily know if you're gonna need that money back in those fund lines, or do you?
Yeah, we believe we will need that money back in those other fund lines.
How could we go 3 or 4 years? How would the insurance company allow the county to go 3 or 4 years extremely short on their premiums?
So the county paid their bill. So what had happened historically, if you go back and look at the appropriations requests for 2024 and 2023, these same conversations had to have happened because we paid our bills. We just budgeted short. So I would say Sarah or maybe Jenny Honeycutt before her came and asked for additional appropriations. We paid the bills. We just didn't budget appropriately.
To be sure, we did appropriate what was asked. We did not cut from the request for last year.
You asked me an absolute question, am I sure? The answer is no. I have not gone back and watched the meetings. What I can tell you is the budget was short and we paid the bills. So the money came from somewhere.
What all coverages are included in this
Yeah,
premium?
great question. So this is your liability, risk management. So all of our vehicles, so all the county vehicles, the sheriff's department, the county highway department, the trucks, the graders, the paving equipment, all those things. It covers tort claims in the jail. The largest claims typically come from the sheriff's office and the highway department. Those are the two major ones. But then any other county-owned asset vehicle would be covered under this liability.
Bill, to answer your question, they asked for 982 and we gave them the 982. We did not cut any.
What I said. Does that cover premises liability too?
Yes, buildings as well.
What's our claims to date for 2025?
I don't have that number in front of me. I could do a quick estimate in my head. I would say that it's probably, considering latency from 2024 to 2025, I'd say it's somewhere around $180,000 so far this year. That's a guess.
Are you aware of any current pending matters that may result in claims?
I absolutely am aware of current pending matters, but I'm not at liberty to discuss the details.
I mean, this is blatant ignorance, maybe is maybe the polite way to put it, relative to our executive assistants or folks in the commissioner's office, really being responsible for something that is a commissioner responsibility in the management of the risk insurance that we've had for however many years. Is that fair to say?
This was left to the executive assistants to deal with, yes.
And ultimately robbing Peter to pay Paul to try to bridge the gap, but not really dealing with the root of the budgeting issue. And I mean, to some degree, I guess council probably has some level of responsibility and not asking enough questions, but ultimately, you know, it's commissioner responsibility. They've not, in my time, come up here to have a similar discussion that you're doing, and that seems crazy to me, that one of our largest $1 million line items is not being actively managed on a regular basis. Have you
I
remember?
can't recall. I mean, the conversation we had during finance committee was probably one of the more in-depth conversations we've had pertaining to this item since I've been on council that I can recall. But a lot of our, we were talking, I don't know if it was here or where, but like the line items that are so variable, we probably need to just make a mental note to check in on those more often, right? Even if it's not in our particular budget, but work with you or whoever else that has one of those items just to make sure we're on track. Because it is hard to budget for something that's so unknown, and we try to do our best, but obviously we can all work together a little bit better here.
Yeah, one of the important things that Commissioner Brand has brought up to the Finance Committee and others, which is the management of that risk, because our grade for, if you're not mitigating that risk when a claim is submitted, our costs are higher. Is that fair?
100%. We have the worst possible risk management score rating that you can achieve with Travelers, the underwriter, because we don't manage our risk.
Correct. That too falls to the commissioners and the department heads that have those claims, in essence. So, you know, that too has to be addressed going forward. Relative to 2026, when do we know what our premiums for 26 are going to be? Do we know them now with what's been submitted for the budget, or
Yeah,
no?
that's a good question. So we haven't met with USI or Travelers to talk about 2026 costs. Keep in mind, this contract is that March, April timeframe, so it's not a calendar year, it's a fiscal year. So even if we talk to them, you know, in say January or February, you're not going to know the exact number. So I believe what's been done year over year is they just added a percentage to it and carried it over, even though the starting point wasn't correct. We are quoting out this service. I've met with one other company and provided them all the information that they've asked for. I do believe that all of our purchase services should be quoted competitively on a regular basis, and seeing that this is probably the second largest aside from our healthcare, which I've been working on previously up until now. We need to see if Travelers and USI is actually competitive.
You know when the last time was that they sought competitive bids?
I don't know. I don't know if Travelers has been in place for 8, 9 years, something like that, maybe.
To go along with that, is there a way to change the calendar year of that contract so it lines up better with being able to budget for it?
Absolutely. You don't get what you deserve in this life, you get what you negotiate. So we pay them. If we tell them we want it whatever month to start, that's when it'll start. If that's what the council wants, that's what I'll tell them. It's got to start with the calendar year.
I think it would make it easier for budgeting if we were able to do that.
No problem.
Further questions for Stephen on this?
So if we, looking down at your sheet on the minimum required today, start with the 251,928, and then you also have the fourth quarter auto premium, the 84,464. So now we're up to 336. You say there will be additional claims.
There will absolutely be additional claims. I just can't predict them. It depends on when they're settled, how much they're settled for, et cetera. You know, the 84,464, Councilman Hughes, we could come back at a later date to do that once we get that invoice. We don't have that invoice in our hand right now, but the 251,928 is the minimum necessary for today because 168,928's invoice is due September 1st.
Mr. Hughes, do you have a suggestion on a new number?
Uh,
450.
Any other comments or reactions from that number?
That would, my thinking being that would cover the current invoice, replace the other lines, fourth quarter auto approximately, and an additional slightly over $100,000 to cover claims. You said we've had $100,000 so far this year. If we're lucky, maybe we can get by for another $100,000. So I would move to amend the request to $450,000.
Keita, do you have so the updated balance of that line as of July 31st was like $48,000 or so? Is there a way to get an actual number as of today? Okay. Has there been any, Stephen or Jenna, has there
Matt.
been any claims?
Matt, before there's any additional discussion, there's been a motion put on the table,
Oh,
so there
sorry.
either needs to be a second or,
Let me rephrase it. So Mr. Hughes has made a motion to amend the appropriation from the $652,396.50 to $450,000.
I'll second it so we can have discussion.
All right, have a second by Dan.
Sorry.
All right, continue, Matt.
Have there been any claims in the last 26 days
Yes.
submitted to the auditor's office?
No.
Okay,
We see it coming.
yeah,
Yeah.
but there has not, so that 48,000 is probably the same, at least for the month. But again, it's not really enough to matter.
What do we get, 15 days grace if it's due on September 1st?
Let me
Can you
look
cut a
at
check-
the
Can you cut a check that quick, and get it to them?
actual invoice.
The mail won't even, if you cut it today, the mail won't get it.
I don't know if it has a late
First.
penalty associated with it or not.
Where do you do it? Is it electronically? You just send it electronically? How do you do it? How do you pay it?
Typically, it's sent through the mail. I mean, if we can get a hold of the vendor, I don't know, is it USI or okay. If we could get a hold of them and get their ACH.
Actually, no, this is Travelers.
Oh, Travelers.
This is Travelers, sorry.
Regardless, we would have to contact the vendor to get that information to be able to send it electronically. The only other option I would say is if we send it FedEx overnight.
I mean, Jim, if you want to get technical, my next question would be, if we approve this appropriation, does it then have to go in front of the commissioners to pay as a claim? Because they don't meet till the 2nd. So our step is just one small step
In
in it.
this case, this would be one that they would have to sign off on the claim itself, stating that they want it paid sooner than the regular pay schedule.
Yeah, that can be done.
And it would still go through the
Mhm.
commissioners meeting. It
And
would
either
just be paid, yeah,
It's not
it
really
would
our
be treated like a
responsibility, so.
utility.
Okay.
But I don't see the opportunity to pay it late or a late fee to answer your
So-
question.
Bill, just to understand, Bill, your motion, we're bridging the gap with 100K or so, just to see if we can get away with, if that'll be enough.
Yes.
Any further comments on Bill's motion to adjust the number?
I guess my only comment is any appropriation we've been making or we're gonna make the rest of the year does play into our budgeting process. So I know there's a thought of appropriate it now, we adjust our budget accordingly. So, but if we think this will get the job done, then it shouldn't affect our budget terribly. It'd be less than what the other number would be, so just as a reminder.
Any other comments? All right, a roll call on Bill's motion.
Ms. Flanagan.
Yeah, I think we need to do this.
Mr. Hughes.
Yes.
Mr. Cantz.
Yes.
Mr. Mokel.
Yes.
Mr. Bookout.
Yes.
Ms. Piper.
Yes,
Mr. Whitehead.
Yes. Now we have the motion to approve the appropriation in general. That is now read as $450,000. Any comments or questions on that? All right, roll call.
Ms. Flanagan.
Yes.
Mr. Hughes.
Yes.
Mr. Cantz.
Yes.
Mr. Mokel.
Yes.
Mr. Bookout.
Yes.
Ms. Piper.
yes.
Mr. Whitehead.
Yes.
May I make
Stephen.
one additional comment?
Please.
We did budget more money for 2026. We put $2 million in the budget, and only to protect for any potential encumbrances, because there's latency in the billing. So there'll be charges in 2025 that wouldn't traditionally be paid until 2026. So if this body wants to encumber money, we covered it in our 2026 budget request.
All righty.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right, moving on to outside of county general, Elizabeth.
Right. 1131, county assessor sales disclosure. 393, conferences and training. 3,200 for a total of 3,200.
Move to approve?
Second.
Motion by Jessica, second by Dan. James, is there anything we need to know about the conferences you're going to?
Their required training, to maintain their, certification levels and their hours. Assessors are required to have 30 hours every 2 years. 3 down there now, taking, courses and testing to get their level 2 certifications.
You said you have 3 in your office there now and yourself's going. Is
I'll
there
be going
anybody
this
else?
afternoon as soon as I get some stuff wrapped up here.
Anybody else from your office going to use this?
No.
Any further questions for James? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Ms. Flanagan.
Yes.
Mr. Hughes.
Yes.
Mr. Cantz.
Yes.
Mr. Mokel.
Yes.
Mr. Bookout.
Yes.
Ms. Piper.
Yes.
Mr. Wyatt.
Yes. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
James. All right, moving on, Elizabeth.
4910, EMS capital improvement fund. 550, other capital outlays. $231,636.69 for a total of $231,636.69.
Move to approve?
Second.
Motion by Jessica, second by Dan.
Mike Ashley, Delaware County EMS Director. This is really two different things. There's $143,894.49. It's for a renewal of our maintenance contract for Stryker. What's he doing? Okay,
Moving it.
anyway, it's for Stryker,
Put it in front.
covers all of our equipment. And, it's a 3-year contract. We can pay it once a year for 3 years. I would just as soon pay the whole thing up front. So that covers all of our equipment, service, repairs, we get new batteries out of it, all that stuff. It basically cuts down to about the cost of one heart monitor per year. But if we don't have the contract, we could burn up $100,000 in the repairs with just a couple of pieces of equipment. So we've always had the contract, and it'll be good for 3 years. So that's that. The other one is the $87,742 that I sent you all an email about. That was a mess up in Stryker's part. We've been dealing with it for about 8-9 months now. Checks were sent to them. They sent checks back. They had us confused with Delaware County, Ohio. It's just been a mess. There's an hour-long conversation we could have about it, but nonetheless, that money was appropriated by you guys back in August. It got put back into our account sometime after the first of the year. We finally determined down to what we owe them, and it's that amount, so we'd like to get that paid. And I think after we get that paid, we've still got a $7,000 credit balance. So,
All righty. Any questions after the description and summary there?
When you got the refund, didn't some alarms go? I mean, who saw the refund?
So we didn't notice the refund. So we didn't notice it until after 25 because when our capital improvements fund is a non-reverting thing. So when checks are sent and later, which was in August, in January of 25, Stryker sends me an email saying that we're $187,000 behind, but we have a $7,000 credit. I'm like, tell me how that's possible, because checks were sent. Well, they credited $187,000 to Delaware County, Ohio, sent our checks back because they thought it was a multiple payment on Delaware County, Ohio. Turns out it was Delaware County EMS in Muncie, and it's just been, I could talk about it for an hour and you would still be as clueless as I am because it's very hard to understand. There's been people fired over this situation over there. It has been an 8-month, 27 or more emails, hours of conversations trying to figure out what happened, and Stryker nor I even understand what happened because they can't give me a solid answer other than they think they sent checks back.
Well, they did send checks back.
They think they did. So the checks were never cashed. They don't know if they mailed them back to us, if they're just sitting somewhere. They have no idea. So the money was put back into our capital improvements fund. It was never cleared. It never came out. Me and Keita had a long conversation about this too. The money is still there. It just went back into the original capital improvements fund. So it was never, the checks were never cashed, but we don't know where they are.
They've been canceled.
They're not gonna, they're done. So there's nothing they can do with them.
And we didn't really know there was an issue until they started
Yeah.
telling us there was an issue.
Are you satisfied with the resolution?
Yep, we can just get it paid because
Yeah.
we're gonna pay this electronically. I'm gonna work with Tanya and we're gonna get this thing. I was originally gonna hand deliver the checks if I had to drive to New Jersey. I don't care. So that's where we're at, but it is these two different separate things. So.
Any further questions for Mike or Megan?
We have a question.
Yes.
Just because we didn't realize exactly what these were for, I don't think the total amount should be put on 550. If one of them's a contractual, it needs to be in contractual services. We might need to fix that.
All
Well,
right.
that money still comes from our capital improvements account. It's not a budgeted line item.
Yeah.
It's a bill that we pay. And that's just how we've always done it. So.
We've never paid it from contractual services, never. It's
Yeah.
always come from capital improvements since the beginning.
I understand, I'm just wondering if maybe that should, what you might be asking for is a transfer from that line to contractual service line, pay $148,000. That's really what it's for, it's for a maintenance service, she said, right, which is a contractual service.
Medical equipment.
I mean, it's whatever, as long as it gets paid.
So what are you telling me we need to do? We need to,
They need to transfer it to our contractual service line.
Transfer it out of 550 into your contractual service, then pay it out of contractual service.
oh, I don't care.
Yeah,
However it needs to
as
get
long as
done.
it gets paid.
Yeah.
We don't, yeah,
Is that
that's all
correct,
that
Tanya?
matters.
I'll stick with the paramedic stuff. They can do however it needs to go, I don't care.
If the money was never paid earlier, shouldn't there be a credit somewhere? I mean, is that falling on, what, last year's books? Or, I mean,
Because it's a non-reverting thing, the money is still in there. So there was never a credit back, it's still in there because that is a non-reverting account. That money never goes anywhere unless we transfer it out or pay a bill out of it. Money comes in, but money doesn't go out unless we pay a bill, so that's always there. If a bill doesn't get paid, it still sits there.
And
Yeah,
at least this year, you've not expended more than $1,000 out of that fund currently, correct?
Yeah, probably not. I've got a truck I gotta pay off too at the end of the year here.
yeah.
It goes in probably in November, so I'll probably come here in November to get that check. I won't give it to them until after I get the truck, but
Right.
I wanna get it out of this year's. I mean, I wanna get it taken care of this year,
Mhm.
so I've already got the chassis, they just gotta put the rest of it together. It just takes forever.
All righty. So I guess this is a question for the auditor's office. What do you need to see to make it right on your end to be able to put this in the system right?
May I ask, do we know, what's the 87,000? I know what the 143 is, you
The
made that real
87,
clear,
no,
what's the
That was,
87?
That was for the cot and load system for a truck.
So that would come out of capital.
Okay,
that would've been
that
just
that
equipment
is capital.
purchase. Yeah.
So I think what we need to do is we need to divvy it up and we need to approve a transfer. You guys need to approve a transfer for the 143,894 from the capital improvement fund into the contractual services fund. So that would be like a major transfer, I do believe. Am I right, Keita?
If it's within the same.
Okay, okay. So they have one in that fund, they have the contractual in that fund.
We have one contractual line that we pay our billing company.
And that's a 300,
That's just it, that's it.
311.
Maybe.
But it's not.
Unless you can you, because used to be, I don't know if you can still do it this way. Used to be when we would move money out of our capital improvements fund, it would be like, so 441 would be re-chassis. capital improvements re-chassis. 442 would be COTS. Can you make, instead of just the 550 other capital outlays, can you make one a contractual service line for when this does happen? We move money from capital improvements to say it's 551 capital outlays, contractual services, maybe? I don't know. Instead of moving it to the 300 series, can you keep it in the capital improvements line family, I guess?
I
Okay.
don't believe so. I don't believe so. I mean, I'm looking at Ed, I'm looking at Keita, and I'm thinking to myself.
No,
I'm
it's
thinking,
gonna be a
that's
major
enough.
transfer because you're going
Yeah.
from 500 series to 300.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I think too.
If
Why
it's
is
within the same fund, it's not a major transfer.
It's not.
Yeah.
Their contractuals under their $1,000.
Oh, is that, I thought we were creating one within the
I also
same
thought we
fund.
were creating the 311
Yeah.
in the 410.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're talking.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Cause that's how it used to be. It was always 4910 for contractual services. And then anytime we had something come out, there was one clearly labeled ambulance re-chassis, one labeled power load COTS. And the money came from 4910 to 4910 550 or whatever. It was
Okay.
all in the same thing.
So what you're asking is, can there be a 4910 311?
Yes, yes.
Can there be,
Yeah.
Keita? Okay, the
Yes.
answer is yes. So then need to do a transfer from the 550 to the 311, which would not be a major transfer. However, you guys would still need to approve a transfer for the contractual maintenance bill of 143,894. And then whatever that difference is, that 87 amount would stay where it's at. And you guys would need to approve the appropriation to spend the 87 out of the 550.
Don't forget the 49 cents,
Yeah.
please.
I didn't
That
write
would
the 87
Cause
down.
a
but-
catastrophe, I bet, over there.
So we
Do you
need a
guys-
motion to transfer 143,894.49 from capital improvements to the contractual 311, correct? I make that motion?
Second.
All right, I got a motion by Dan, and a second by Bill.
Excuse me, does this need to be amended to original motion, Ben? Or is this just?
We make an original motion.
Yes.
Yes.
So, yeah, you would.
So I make a motion to amend.
Thank you.
All right, is everybody clear on the amendment?
Would you like the total for the 550 now?
Yes.
Yes.
Please.
87,742.20 going into 550.
That's right.
Is everything all right over there?
Yeah.
Make
Yes.
sure, I wanna make sure we're getting the right numbers in the
Yeah,
right places. Okay. Any further comments or questions on the amendment? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Flanagan.
Yes.
Mr. Hughes.
Yes.
Mr. Cantz.
Yes.
Mr. Mokel.
Yes.
Mr. Bookout.
Yes.
Ms. Piper.
Yes.
Mr. Wyatt.
Yes.
Okay,
Now, on the original motion, if we approve that, is that just for the capital outlays?
Well, your amendment was to, your amendment was to do both, was it not?
yes.
So if you move to amend the original motion to do both, then an approval would do both.
Perfect. Is everybody up to speed on that? Have any questions or clarifications needed? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Flanagan.
Yes.
Mr. Hughes.
Yes.
Mr. Cantz.
Yes.
Mr. Mokel.
Yes.
Mr. Bookout.
Yes.
Ms. Piper.
Yes.
Mr. Wyatt.
Yes.
Marissa, you're gonna have to double check that one.
Does that mean both things have been paid?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it does.
You're good.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Megan. All right, moving on to the mental health treatment.
All right.
Elizabeth.
9223, mental health treatment. 393, conferences and training. $5,000 for a total of $5,000.
Move to approve?
Second?
Motion by Jessica, second by Dan. Jane, please.
Good morning, Jane Miranda, Community Corrections. This is our newest grant, which is why I'm not used to seeing it on here. This is a grant that we received from the Indiana Office of Court Services. Delaware County is in the planning stages of a new mental health court, and this money is to be used for training and travel. I know we have a conference that we're going to go to in Brown County in October, which is for Indiana Certified Court Programs. And I know Judge Mahor has also looked into going and visiting some established mental health courts so that we can get some better ideas for ours.
Thank you. Any questions for Jane?
Grant money, so you already have it.
Yes, it just needs appropriated.
All right, hearing none. Roll call, please.
Ms. Flanagan.
Yes.
Mr. Hughes.
Yes.
Mr. Cantz.
Yes.
Mr. Mokel.
Yes.
Mr. Bookout.
Yes.
Ms. Piper.
Yes,
Mr. Wyatt.
Yes.
thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Jane.
All right, motion to approve financial transfers and to amend salary ordinance with like reductions.
Second.
Motion by Jessica, second by Dan. Roll call, please.
Ms. Flanagan.
Yes.
Mr. Hughes.
Yes.
Mr. Mokel.
Yes.
Mr. Bookout.
Yes.
Ms. Piper.
Yes.
Mr. Cantz.
Yes.
Mr. Wyatt.
Yes. Thank you. On the back of the transfers and the appropriations, you have the BAP filling report in front of you.
Motion to accept.
Second.
Motion by Dan, second by Bill. Roll call.
Ms. Flanagan.
Yes.
Mr. Hughes.
Yes.
Mr. Mokel.
Yes.
Ms. Piper.
Yes.
Mr. Bookout.
Yes.
Mr. Cantz.
Yes.
Mr. Wyatt.
Yes. All right, thank you. Moving on to resolution 2025-12. Have, is it Heather James?
I'm Sarah, I'm
Sarah?
Heather's associate.
All right.
Yep.
Thank you for being here. If you could give us an update, I think council would appreciate that.
Absolutely. I'm Sarah Carell with Ice Miller. We serve as bond counsel to the county and to the Redevelopment Commission. This is a resolution to approve the assignment of collateral, the assignment of TIF as collateral to the Living Green bonds, which were closed in 2022. So the Living Greens transaction happened a few years ago. As you know, the project was not completed with the original developer. A new developer has purchased those bonds with plans to complete the original project pursuant to the original financing agreement. They need a cash infusion, and so they've gone to a credit union to get a loan. This is very standard operating procedure. The only thing that's a little bit unusual here is that we're doing it 3 years after the closing. The bank would like an assignment of the TIF to the extent received as collateral. Again, usually this would all happen as part of the closing process. And typically we wouldn't even come back to the council for this. However, the bank would like this to be formalized. Really want to underscore here that this creates no additional obligations of the county. We're not extending the TIF. We're not extending or pledging any additional tax dollars. We're just pledging the TIF as received to this loan. So really asking for nothing new here, but the bank would like this formalized, so we are here asking for it to be formalized. Happy to answer any questions. This was also approved by the RDC earlier this month, so this would be the final step before the new developer can get his loan.
All righty, thank you. Questions?
What kind of timetable does the new developer have for getting up and running?
I'm not aware of what his timetable is. I know that he would be moving forward with the financing as soon as he was able to get this pledge. I'm not sure what his building.
This would be the last piece of the financing.
Correct. Yep.
Sarah, has local legal counsel taken a look at the existing economic development agreement with the developer?
Yes.
Okay. Has there been a renegotiation of the pledges that the developer promised?
The pledges have all stayed the same. So the bonds were $4 million. He is looking to make a $16 million investment through this loan, plus some additional funds of his own.
Okay, the reason I ask is the company in 2004 was supposed to create approximately 120 new jobs with an average wage of $34,200, make an investment of $23 million in real property.
capital investment of 17 million in machinery and equipment, all by December 2024. So I know that hasn't happened.
Correct, yeah. So, to my knowledge, the only changes would be to the end dates, but I'm not sure what his timing is.
Is he making the improvements, or is there another party that's doing the work?
He is making the improvements,
Okay.
so he'll be managing, the development.
Is he also pledging the 120 jobs, or is another entity, another firm pledging the 120 jobs?
He is pledging the jobs.
Okay.
Has the EDA been extended?
It has not. So the TIF timetable started with the issuance of the bonds. So we are still on the same end date and the same end date before that TIF would start passing through.
Any further questions?
Yeah, my issue with this is that, and Sarah, you do a very good job, and I fully respect bond counsel on this, but I think my issues with the developer and the pledges that have been made to complete the work, pledge the jobs, that was all supposed to have been done. There was original tax abatement even that this body approved previously on the equipment. That equipment was never brought. There was issue with the trusses of the building that was raised at one time. There was a pledge of the redevelopment commission to assist with funding to assist with repositioning or beefing up the trusses at the building. That was not completed. So in my opinion, I've got reason for 3 strikes, and there's not been work done. So unless not knowing that there's a new economic development agreement pledging these numbers and what they're for and who the end user is and what the jobs are going to be doing, I'm not comfortable with it.
Any further questions?
Would it be appropriate, in your view, to table this until we get more information?
Is there negotiation going on, Sarah, with the developer now?
Not to my knowledge. So the actual assignment and the sale of the bonds was all done through the original financing agreement. So as far as I know, everything's operating through the original agreement.
It's just the purpose of pledging incentives is to receive benefit to the
Right.
county through new job creation, and I'm just worried that we've been there, done that 3 times, and the work has not been completed. So I'm worried about the intentions of the developer.
What are the intentions of the developer? What is this going to be now?
I'm not sure.
Hi, Stephen Brand speaking on behalf of the Delaware County Redevelopment Commission. So the developer, the owner of the building, has a contract with a company that's going to manufacture aluminum trailers.
So the developer is not making the investment?
The
or-
developer is making the investment, and the company that they have the contract with is also contributing to that investment
Okay.
to complete the interior of the
But the
building.
developer's not, he can't pledge the jobs if he's not the one building the trailers.
The developer.
The developer, correct? There's another company.
There is a company that has subleased
Okay.
the site from the developer. Yes.
I think this body would be better to do an economic development agreement with that entity rather than this developer, in my opinion. If they're the ones going to be creating the jobs,
We're already under,
causing for the
we're already under contract, aren't we? Isn't it just being reassigned? I mean, so can you now jump in and request a new economic development
in my
agreement?
opinion, by the economic development agreement, they failed their responsibility. Responsibility was due by December 2024.
And it's a totally different business. That was with Living Green Farms where they were going to do the vertical farming. That's out. This is a complete,
Sounds like a new economic development agreement needs to be drafted.
I'm not of the same opinion. And this is so the developer can secure financing to do the work, to complete the building, so to meet his obligation to the tenant that's subleasing the site.
So we're
Because
talking about
the
two
building was a shell building, right? There was no concrete floor, there was no HVAC, there was minimal lighting, and this is to complete the building to meet his obligation to the tenant that signed the lease.
So, I mean, I'm with you, Brad. I understand what your concern is. I think that that is a separate topic. It sounds like that if those metrics weren't met, that abatement, if it was 2004, it's probably expired.
2024.
24.
Oh,
I said
2020.
2004.
Oh, I thought you said 2004.
Yeah, 2024.
Okay.
Yeah, 2024.
That
December 2024.
abatement was relatively recent.
It's within the last 2 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so is that null and void if it's not, it was for Living Greens?
The abatement application was for a completely
Right.
different entity. Yeah, a different company. So the purpose of the Shell building was built by a private developer, Garma.
Right.
The county was responsible for making the payment and the cost of paying for the cost of the Shell building until which time it was sold. The company purchased that building, which ceased the county being responsible for making the payment on the building. Subsequently, a company, Living Green Farms, pledged significant capital investment in the millions and 120 jobs at a certain wage. That did not come to fruition. They then subsequently asked for tax abatement on equipment. That did not come to fruition. They asked for funding from the county to upgrade the trusses in the building. That was pledged. That did not come to fruition. So that's where I'm at. Now we have a third company working with the original, the buyer of the building to do a project, and we don't have information on that company or an economic development agreement pledging any of the benefits of the incentive that the county is giving on the project. That's where my issue is
Well,
at.
the ask here is simply to reassign it, the TIF money, correct?
Correct. So the new developer is bound by all of the same agreements. So there is a clause within the financing
Of the
agreement.
bond.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yep. So they are still bound by all of the same pledges.
Right. So in the end, the upside here is that we reassign that this developer gets that building finished, we get a new employer put into that building.
That's correct. So we have a developer who's interested in coming in even with 3 years less of TIF revenue to
Right.
come back to it. Correct.
The repercussions of what you just described sound like a separate thing
What
we should
I just
discuss.
described is that we're pledging money, we're pledging
TIF money.
TIF money.
Yeah.
$4 million
To someone-
bond issuance, and we don't have any guarantee of, they could create 2 jobs instead of 120.
So it's already pledged and they are already bound by all of the same agreements as the first developer. So the pledge is already out there.
But the pledge expired 2024, December.
No, the bonds are still outstanding for 25 years. So the TIF pledge is pledged to those bonds until their payoff.
Okay, but the jobs are, when do they have to complete the jobs by?
So we are already past that deadline.
That's
That would
that's
be
my point
correct.
I'm trying to make, yeah.
What entities are obligated under the economic development agreement?
So under the new assignment, it would be the new developer.
Oh, it says in here that they are also assuming the terms of the economic development agreement, or just the financing piece?
They would be assuming all of the agreements.
Does it say that in here somewhere? I've just been looking for it, I'm not,
It does in the underlying documents, yeah, in the original documents.
Bill, do you have further clarification needed?
well, I'm looking at paragraph B of the collateral assignment agreement, and it says Living Greens was permitted to transfer its assets, provided that the surviving entity would assume all of its obligations under the financing agreement. It only refers to the financing agreement, it doesn't refer to the economic development agreement. That's the problem, isn't it?
That's the problem. There's not an updated economic development agreement with the entity.
So yeah, we're not at any financial risk, but we might not get any benefit.
There's no need to pledge in tax incentives of the general public.
if we don't get a return on an economic, we don't have a guarantee of a return of an economic development benefit. I think that needs to go back and be renegotiated with the company. Maybe the council feels different and wants to take different action, and that's up to the balance of the council.
Please go ahead.
I had a question. So the underlying TIF revenues are already pledged on these
Correct.
bonds, correct?
Correct.
And if this assignment is not done, it doesn't stop those revenues from being spent on the bond payments. It just prevents the current developer from further developing that building in any substantial way with financing.
That's correct. So it does not keep these TIF revenues from going to the new developer. It just keeps the developer from being able to get the $16 million loan to make the actual investment into the building. So this is an ask from.
And
the
without that
developers.
investment, we're reducing the amount of revenue even available potentially.
Correct.
So. I don't disagree with Brad. I mean, I do think if there's an EDA rediscussion, that probably needs to be addressed. Is that with us, though?
No.
No. So,
You local economic development folks, and
That's
in
not
conjunction with
our,
the local legal counsel.
not our purview, really.
Negotiate that.
And then there's no tax abatement right now, right? Because that was for Living
Different-
Green
Yes,
specifically.
right.
Different equipment.
Yeah.
yes.
As far as the redevelopment commission stands, is there an attempt to work with the developer to negotiate a new E EDA?
It's not been discussed, and this company is not asking for an abatement. But we've not specifically discussed renegotiating an economic development agreement, no.
Because other than this, they're not asking for anything.
They're not asking for anything. And the company is not asking for this, the developer, the building owner's asking for this assignment so he can use it as collateral to get a loan to complete the infrastructure of the building.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the resolution.
Matt has made a motion to approve the resolution. Hearing no second.
I'll second.
All right. Mr. Hughes has made a second. We have further discussion? I do have a question. If we decided to table this, what are the ramifications on pushing it out for one more month?
My understanding is the timing of the collateral to be used for the loan would be in jeopardy to secure the loan
From the bank,
from the bank. Actually, I think it's a credit union.
or credit union, sorry.
How long has the redevelopment commission known about this or had this in front of them?
At the last meeting.
So this was dropped on you at the last meeting and dropped on us at our current meeting with short notice. I mean, I'm not gonna lay any blame, but it seems like there's been some poor planning on the developer to get this information to us. And in my opinion, that doesn't constitute an emergency on our end to make a quick and rash decision, because it seems like we've got a lot of questions. Whether we got them all answered, I'm not sure. But we do have a motion in front of us. Does the council have further questions or comments regarding it?
Well,
I'm kind of in agreement with Brad in that we're not guaranteed anything for our investment, no return on our investment.
The investment's already made, I guess is the important
Yeah.
the important point to make here is that this investment is made. So if they can't get the loan, the pledge is out there and nothing's going to happen.
We're paying on the bond through the TIF. This is an investment that would increase the amount of revenue coming into the TIF to pay that bond and potentially for further investment in that TIF district. That's the benefit.
Let me make one point. This is a developer-funded bond, so the developer funds the $4 million of the bond. That's the way it was originally negotiated, so they have to come up with the money, not the county for the original bond issuance, which is a distinction, okay? The developer has to come up with $4 million for the bond. What they're asking for is the developers trying to use the TIF pledge to pay the financing on the $4
back
million to go borrow $16 million so that he can complete construction of the building, so he can lease it to another tenant who is going to make a machinery investment and so
which is
he's-
pretty standard.
He's borrowing money to complete a building so he can lease the building.
Right.
Using tax money to make the payment on $4 million
That he was originally responsible for.
that he's originally responsible for, correct?
What's being asked today is customary at the original closing. Why this wasn't done 3 or 4 years ago, I have no idea. But this is not an unusual action. It's typically done at the original closing. Just the timing of this is a little bit unusual.
3 or 4 years ago, it was going to be used for a different purpose, correct?
Agree.
So
But it-
this is quite different, in my opinion, based on the new developer using it for a different reason.
The use is different, I agree with you, but the purpose is, I would disagree with you.
Why is the developer not here today? Do we know that?
No,
No, okay.
he's out of state.
Yeah. How about the company that's going to make the business that's going to go into the building?
They're out of the country.
Further comments or questions?
Mr. Bookout, I guess again for clarification, it was my understanding originally this was just just an assignment. Now, so if you're just picking up somebody else's contract as is, but is it the modification? Is that where we're at here with your comment
My
about?
comment is that the new company that's coming in, we need some guarantee to the county for their job creation numbers and how much money they're gonna commit to in investment in machinery and equipment. So if they're coming in and, if we're pledging payback of up to $4 million of a bond, and they're only gonna install one machine and hire 3 people, that's a pretty heavy incentive for not a lot of guarantee. If they're gonna pledge 120 jobs and $34 million, I see benefit in that. I would support it, but that's not memorialized in any type of economic development agreement, so I'm not in support of it today. If that was done, and I think maybe that could be done in 30 days, I would be in support of it.
We already have a motion on the table, that cannot be modified. I mean, I guess I'm still in favor, of tabling this, and if it causes, I don't know that would cause a hardship. I think on the other end, if there's financing involved, that needs to be looked at as well.
Is there any other details relative to the timing that you can offer? Or how long this has been in discussion now that the financing is in place? That's what they're asking for. So this is an ask after the fact to some degree, right? When they went to get financing, the bank said, well, we need this, and now they're coming to us.
Yeah, so them getting financing and using this as collateral is all already authorized under the agreements that have already been passed and signed. So the reason that they're coming back after the fact is that the bank has asked for this to be formalized. So what we're asking today is something that they can already do. They're just looking for it to be formalized at the bank's request.
I get what you're saying, but I'm still uncomfortable with it. Like, I still, it seems just disingenuous. I guess maybe is the word I'm looking for. If it is, to Eugene's point and to Brad's point, it's something totally different than what we all, Commissioners Council, all originally agreed in. We don't know what that investment is. It makes me a little uncomfortable.
What was gonna happen to this building if this developer had not shown up?
Sit there and continue to rust.
What's the possibility of getting an EDA? I mean, beyond this, a new one?
The redevelopment commission would have to enter into those discussions with the company, not
Yeah.
necessarily the developer.
I mean, to your point, Brad, I agree with you wholeheartedly, but it sounds like this is already a done deal. They're just wanting a little icing on top of the cake
Yeah, they're
to
wanting,
make
the
it.
bank is, or
Dr.
the credit union is wanting the money pledged
Right.
towards the $16 million loan that the developer's taking out. as
That's-
tax money pledged towards their developer's loan.
I think we as the county and more specifically the redevelopment commission needs to work with the developer and the new company coming in to try and get some
Yeah.
numbers of employees and salaries.
And Councilman Bookout's right, this is a developer-backed bond, so they have to spend the money to get the money. This isn't just an open checkbook.
Which is the right way to set a bond.
100%, I
Sarah
agree.
did the right thing by the
Yep.
way this is set up. The issue is with the developer, in my opinion, and not having an updated economic development agreement with that entity.
I agree with you on that point.
I believe in the project that could go into the building. I don't agree with the way of not having a guarantee of what we're going to get back to the county in exchange for spending the tax dollars. It's pretty simple.
Further comments, questions?
I move to table resolution 2025-12.
Second.
Motion to table the resolution by Bill, seconded by Jessica. Do we have comments or questions on that? Opinions?
You had a motion on the table already, right?
Right, but a motion to table to supersede that, correct?
You either need to call the question on the original motion or Bill can withdraw it.
Well,
I made the motion. The first
To
one.
approve?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
And Councilman Hughes seconded.
And now there's a pending motion to table the issue.
Mhm.
So you can take the vote on the table and
That's what I
then you
thought,
can
yeah.
pull it back
So-
off later.
Right. So we do have a motion to table in front of us. Any comments? All right,
Second.
hearing none, roll call.
Ms. Flanagan.
Yes.
Mr. Hughes.
Yes.
Mr. Mokel.
Yes.
Mr. Bookout.
Just to clarify, this is a motion to table?
Yes.
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 Ms. Piper.
Yes.
Mr. Cantz.
No.
Mr. Wyatt.
No. It has been tabled. So we'll hopefully gather some more information and see what the redevelopment commission can bring to us, and we'll have it on our agenda for next month.
To be clear, you're looking for an economic development agreement proposal with the company, not the developer, in the next 30 days. I'm just trying to clarify.
I think that's been the request from Mr. Bookout. I'd like to see at least some contact and information from both the developer and the company coming in.
In terms of investment, job creation,
Is
I
that,
think local legal counsel just needs to look, or redevelopment commission legal counsel needs to look into what is, what needs to be memorialized into that agreement. And what all that is, what's being pledged by the company, what are the terms, what are the jobs, what are the wages? I think that needs to be put into an agreement.
thank you.
thank you. Sarah, thank you for being here. All right, moving on to ordinance 2025-14, the rainy day fund. This is a first reading. Is there any motion to discuss?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion by Jessica, second by Matt.
Just a clarifying question, is that a motion to introduce the
Yes.
ordinance?
Thank you. Questions, comments?
How much of, so these codes that are referenced in this, ordinance, Ben, is anything, we can dictate the terms of the fund, right? By the statute, is that what? There's a code may establish a rainy day fund by the adoption of an ordinance, specify the purpose of the fund and approved sources of funding. That's open to interpretation by us completely.
Generally speaking, yes.
Okay. So in summary, this ordinance establishes a fund to receive transfers from all unused and unencumbered funds as permitted by law as follows. So any general or special tax levies, local income taxes, and any other funding source permitted by law. So from a, where the money comes from, it really can come from any, whether it's lit or general tax levies, anything that we receive from a revenue perspective.
Yeah, basically, if the fund, as long as the funding stream doesn't contain a provision that prohibits it from going to the rainy day fund, then you can transfer it you can transfer it within the guidelines, specifically not more than 10% of your annual budget can go in there.
Okay. And then expenditures out, are subject to the same appropriation process that we have for every other dollar. I do have some questions or concerns on the funds contained may be used for payment of the following expenditures: purchase of furniture and fixtures for county facilities and offices, maintenance or construction of any buildings or improvements owned by the county or which the county is legally required or compelled to maintain, purchase of state mandated computer hardware or software, payment or advance of funds which are 100% reimbursable to the rainy day fund from future revenues, grants, or awards, to supplement and or advance funds as necessary due to a shortfall experienced by the county general fund as a result of the non-payment of property taxes. On section 4C, the purchase of state mandated computer hardware or software, I think we should strike state mandated. If we, well, one, I'm not even sure what that defines, because I'm not sure, other than certain pieces of software that they may ask us to use, I don't think they mandate specific, do they?
So just to clarify, what I did in drafting this ordinance was go back and review many of the ordinances that this is repealing. So I can't answer questions as to why some of these uses are in here. They go back to something that must have happened back in 2009, 2010, somewhere in there.
So like mandated computer hardware, that could be maybe even what companies we can use for vote machines or something, right? Like that could be, or special kinds of printers for special kind of documents, like that may be mandated.
Sure, but we may have hardware investment that's required that's not mandated, so.
If
So
I,
just, you wanna just
if I
general.
may. It could be, I don't know, but it could be that certain software companies have to be certified in order for the government entities to use them. If they are not certified, we cannot legally use them. We went through a complete conversion because one of our old companies could not get certified, and we
Sure.
had to buy a new system.
For things like the auditor's office, treasurer's,
Taxes.
taxes, things of that nature, but if we decide to move from Microsoft to Google does business in the state of Indiana with counties all over the facility. That's not a state mandated requirement, but if we want to invest the money in that, I think that this money should be available to do that, even if it's not state mandated. That's my only, so I think we should strike state mandated. That's my recommendation. And then on the last, 4E, the supplement or advance funds as necessary due to a shortfall experienced by the county general fund as a result of the non-payment of property taxes. To me, that limits, we didn't receive property tax money. But if we had some major expenditure or, God forbid, the building fell down or whatever might happen, and we needed to use the money, due to a shortfall, that shortfall could be a result of, not that we haven't received property taxes, but that we just simply don't have the money. So I think that as a result of the non-payment of property taxes should also be struck. And then the only other, I guess, and this may be, because I do have questions sometimes about our finance committee, 5B1 or I, if the finance committee determines that the requested appropriation is permissible, then the finance committee shall follow its usual procedures to determine the favorability or unfavorability of the request and forward the same to council. I know we tend to say that, or we have historically said, finance committee, was in favor of X or Y. I don't know that's actually the finance committee actually makes a recommendation to council. We hear and avoid things from coming, but we're not here to influence the council on a favorability rating, in my opinion, unless I'm wrong about that.
Seems like, the finance committee, it's unfortunate we all can't be on it, because I think many times council gets the Cliff Note version of what happened, of all the discussion that y'all are privy to in the finance committee. So I think, I mean, either way, we can still ask for a favorable or an unfavorable recommendation, can we not? From the finance committee. I mean, you are there with.
We can, but my point is we shouldn't. That's my point. My point is that while the finance committee is, and it later in this is a good kind of summary in some respects, because it talks about, you know, we follow regular procedures. It's still ultimately decided by a majority vote. And a request that has been denied by the finance committee simply is a denial that says this request is not appropriate, or it's not following, you know, appropriate procedures from the auditor's office or whatever. It's not because we disagree with it. You see what I'm saying? The favorability indicates that we, the three on the finance committee, are in favor of that appropriation. Sometimes I am and sometimes I'm not, you know, and sometimes I'll say purposely, the council should decide, you know, whether or not this is okay. And then the discussion happens here. It's a formality maybe, but it just, I've never been comfortable with the favorable, unfavorable recommendation by finance. I think it should be simply a gate for the department heads to come review what they're trying to get appropriated, for us to ask questions, take notes, and then, yeah, forward those notes into council, but ultimately the discussion happens here and so does the decision. So if our makeup of this council was different and it feels like an influence, I guess, is what I'm saying, so.
Well, with all due respect, I would disagree with your comment. Even if in your opinion, the finance committee couldn't reach a favorable agreement, in other words, it might have been 2-1 in favor or not, I would like, if I ask the question, I would certainly like to have a response from somebody from the finance committee as to what their determining factor was or wasn't in regards to the discussions that you had with these people, to help us understand maybe more of the detail of what went on in the finance committee.
That's totally fair. I totally get it. Yeah.
I think, shall we say, if it goes in front of the finance committee, you wanna make sure it meets the guidelines to come from the rainy day fund, and that's your only favorable or unfavorable. Is that correct, Matt?
Correct, that's what I'm trying to say. And I understand Jim's point, and I can see that too. It's just that, you know, the discussion does happen, you know, should happen here, so.
Now, once you determine it goes through the proper channels and it is a proper ask from the proper place, then we ask, well, what do you think of it as a secondary?
Yeah. I'm not gonna live or die on this topic. It was something I wanted to point out because it reads specifically in this ordinance, so I'm probably fine either way, just pointing that out.
Matt, if I can restate what you're trying to say on 5BI, is you'd like to remove where it says from to determine all the way to the end of that sentence.
Shall follow its usual procedures and forward this, and forward to council. I don't know how that should read, but just removing the favorability, unfavorability of the request, but that's, again, you know, up to the council.
So I'll state the purpose for paragraph 5. There was some version of this in prior ordinances. I did redraft it with the goal of just trying to make it, I guess, a little tougher for appropriation requests from the rainy day fund to make it to council so that you're not inundated by everybody wanting to get their hands on a different pot of money. If that's not the council's pleasure, I think the way to go about it would be to cut subparagraph B entirely, because that's what deals with the finance committee, because subparagraph A just says it's submitted to finance committee for review. And then C, would say that it goes to council. D is the appeal for an unfavorable, so you could cut that as well. So it'd basically be A, C, and D retitled as A, B, and C at that point.
I mean, I'd be fine with that, but again, that's.
Alrighty, well, we have, some suggested corrections or adjustments. We're still on first reading, so we can, do roll call and then come back next month and get things really ironed out and in stone.
Does anybody else have any?
I guess I have a question. So a department, to your point, could come to us and try to tap into these funds if they had a need. I mean, there could be opportunities where we get a lot of requests, right? Because people are going to want, our finances are pretty tight. Would it make more sense just for council to decide whether we tap into those without like it be our line item?
Well, it's always ultimately gonna be up to the council because it's an
Right.
appropriation that has to be approved by the council.
But instead of being inundated by, but like, I don't know, maybe we won't get many requests. I don't know what to expect, because we haven't had a rainy day fund since I've been on council, but,
You have one
We have
now,
one,
it's
we have
just
one.
not been
oh, we
very
haven't
actively
used it.
Yeah.
It's never been,
Cat's out of the bag now.
yeah, ta-da.
I
So I
guess,
guess I'm just asking more, but it should be like a conversation with the council about,
I think that's the
What the
tone
need
we're probably
is.
need, the tone that needs to be set, right?
yeah,
That this is emergency fund.
Jessica,
yeah.
so you're saying maybe they'll come ask for funds and we'll determine if it comes out of rainy day or not, is kind of what you're alluding to there?
I think so.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
they'll
cause
come see us and they'll say, well, you,
I mean, maybe that's kind of how it already is,
Instead of
but.
I believe that's the way I'm reading it, the way
Okay.
it is. If a request is made and the money is wanting to come out of rainy day, they come to council to request that.
Yeah,
Like, it goes through the proper channels.
Just like
to
we
do it.
did today, they could come and say, we need an appropriation for insurance, cause we're all gonna lose our insurance if we
Right.
don't pay it. And even whether they're asking specifically for a rainy day approval or not, I mean, the council in its discretion
Yeah.
could say, we don't have the money in the general fund, but that's what the rainy days fund is for, and then make the appropriation. Ultimately, it's always going to be up to the council.
sure.
That was not an attempt to
Sure.
deprive the council of anything. It was, I guess, maybe just a procedural hurdle to make people
Yeah.
get through so that
Yeah, which is.
everybody's not
standard,
making
I
a
yeah.
just-
request.
Or
Well, it sounds like we've
fixtures
got a
and
lot,
furniture is really an emergency.
you never know, they might. be
Apparently it
depending on-
was at some point.
I guess
Right.
Because it was
so.
in
I
the
guess
rainy day
so.
ordinance.
Okay,
Regardless,
Yeah.
we're introducing it for first reading. We've had a lot of, comments on adjusting it. I would recommend to council over the next month, work hard on getting those clarified.
Mhm.
And that way we can come back next month with it.
Yeah, cause I got a lot more questions on how we're gonna get the money in there.
So, Mr. President, your suggestion is that council over the next month, if we have a revision, maybe email legal counsel for some points?
I think that'd be
Suitable with
wise.
that. Okay.
Absolutely.
so motion, do we need to table this?
No, we
No,
have,
we have
we're
a
at the
motion to
motion to introduce it, so
Yep.
I'm ready. Let's do roll call.
all right.
Ms. Flanagan.
Yes.
Mr. Hughes.
Yes.
Mr. Mokel.
Yes.
Mr. Bookout.
Yes.
Mr. Piper.
Yes,
Mr. Cantz.
Yes.
Wyatt.
Yes. Alrighty. Moving on to ordinance 2025-15. This is a salary ordinance adjustment request. This is being made with Communications Director. If you'd give us just a quick update on what your request is. I guess this is for, first reading introduction. Before you start, Fred, do I have a motion to entertain this for a first reading?
I'll move to introduce.
I'll second.
Motion by Jessica, second by Dan. All right, Fred, please.
So when we did the salary ordinance last year, one of the discussions that was had was,
paying dispatchers equivalently to full-time people when they move to part-time. I opted not to convolute the discussion last year because it was so in-depth as it was. I met with the finance committee last month. I requested that this be put in front of you today. When I have a full-time trained dispatcher that's certified in everything that they need to be certified for, decide to take another job and want to stay part-time, I have a significant problem paying them differently than I would pay somebody that does the job full-time. So my request is that I be able to pay them the same equivalent hourly rate based on their certifications and ability to do the job. The only big difference is they don't get benefits or holidays or anything like that. I received a favorable response from the finance committee, and so I asked that this ordinance be amended.
Can we just confirm, so we're in section 9G4?
That's correct. Like we've done in the past with this ordinance, trying to keep everything in one place. That is the only material change other than just updating the repeal and replace language so that it's all in one spot. But it's 9G subpart 4.
So former full-time communication employees who become part-time shall receive the equivalent hourly rate of pay as a current full-time.
Is looking at leaving to go into law enforcement full-time, but has expressed a desire to stay part-time. But I have a hard time telling that person who is an exceptional dispatcher and, you know, that I'm gonna have to cut his pay significantly if he stays part-time. It just doesn't make sense to me. Because he's gonna do the same job as the other people that are there full-time.
So would it be, I guess, a more accurate description of your intent to say that they'll receive the same pay as a current full-time employee holding the same certifications and years of experience?
No, I didn't add the years of experience thing.
No, I'm asking if it should be, because you just mentioned somebody of a similar
No, because
experience
every
level.
dispatcher gets paid the same hourly rate. We
Okay.
changed that last year during budget.
Okay, I
And
misunderstood.
then there's longevity experience that goes into that. I'm not asking to pay them that. I'm asking to pay them the same hourly rate.
It's the base rate then,
Correct.
with no benefits.
It was specifically done that way because I don't want to get into longevity experience for part-time people.
Any further questions? All right, then roll call on first reading introduction.
Ms. Blanken?
Yes.
Mr. Hughes?
Yes.
Mr. Mokel?
Yes.
Mr. Bookout?
Yes.
Ms. Piper?
Yes.
Mr. Cantz? Yes. Mr. Wyatt?
Yes.
And Mr. President, just so you know, I have 3 things to bring you under department head elected officials.
Looking forward to it, Fred.
That's all.
All right. Moving on to, please.
Could we consider, adopting this ordinance today if we have a unanimous vote? I would so move.
I'll second that.
All righty. Motion by Bill, a second by Jessica. I'm gonna ask for a clarification on Ben. Instead of suspending the rules, what is it really
Yeah,
called?
So what state statute requires is if you want to take it up to adopt it in a first reading, you take a vote on adopting it in the first reading. That vote must be unanimous. Assuming it is, then you call the passage of the actual ordinance, that just requires a 5-4 majority, or a 4-3 majority.
All right.
So to Bill's motion, it must be unanimous that you're going to adopt it today, and then you can take a second vote on actually adopting it.
All right, is everybody clear on that?
Yep.
Clear on
So
what
this
we're
this
voting?
first motion is to,
Quote, suspend the rules,
Okay.
but it's
okay.
not
Just
really what
wanted
it's.
a clarification on that. Everybody clear? All right, roll call, please.
Ms. Blanken?
Yes.
Mr. Hughes?
Yes.
Mr. Mokel?
Yes.
Mr. Bookout?
Yes.
Ms. Piper?
Yes.
Mr. Cantz? Yes. Mr. Wyatt?
Yes. Now I need a motion for official approval for
So
Motion
moved.
to adopt, yeah.
motion to adopt.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Jessica, second by Dan. Any questions or comments? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Ms. Blanken?
Yes.
Mr. Hughes?
Yes.
Mr. Mokel?
Yes.
Mr. Bookout?
Yes.
Ms. Piper?
Yes.
Mr. Cantz? Yes. Mr. Wyatt?
Yes. All right, now we'll move on to ordinance 2025-16, Peterborough Board ordinance. This was sent to me by the assessor as a request to update the compensation rate for the members on the Property Tax Assessment Board of Appeals. This is for first reading, introduction. I hear a motion.
So moved?
Second?
I heard Jessica with the motion. Was that Dan with the second?
Yes.
Any questions, comments, concerns? All right, hearing none. Roll call, please.
Mr. Flanagan.
Yes.
Mr. Hughes.
Yes.
Mr. Mokel.
Yes.
Mr. Bookout.
Yes.
Ms. Piper.
Yes.
Mr. Cantz. Yes. Mr. Wyatt.
Yes. Before proceeding, is anybody wanting to adopt this today?
I think he said there was no hurry because they won't want to meet till July, but.
He said that they would be meeting monthly pretty much for the next couple of months, but he said whatever we decided, he would follow as of the date that it was signed, so he'll follow the current one until we adopt the new one.
Just to be clear, I believe the prior ordinance actually had two scales of pay. Some members getting 150, some getting 100. I'm not sure if that actually nets a savings, but at a minimum, it just makes sure everybody's on the same playing field, salary-wise.
I'm all right with moving to vote
I
today.
agree. I'll second. Or did you second? I'll motion.
So Brad's the motion?
All right, so Brad made a motion and the second was
Dan?
Dan Flanagan.
Again, this one must be unanimous.
All righty, roll call, please.
Mr. Flanagan.
Yes.
Mr. Hughes.
Yes.
Mr. Mokel.
Yes.
Mr. Bookout.
Yes.
Ms. Piper.
Yes.
Mr. Cantz. Yes. Mr. Wyatt.
Yes. All
I'll
right,
move for the passage?
I'll second.
motion to adopt was made by Jessica, second by Dan. Any questions or comments? I will make one comment. From what Mr. Carmichael said, that this would be a savings based off that two-tier system, making everybody equal on their compensation. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Flanagan.
Yes.
Mr. Hughes.
Yes.
Mr. Mokel.
Yes.
Mr. Bookout.
Yes.
Ms. Piper.
Yes.
Mr. Cantz. Yes. Mr. Wyatt.
Yes. Alrighty, thank you all. Moving on to appointments and committee reports, Job Classification Committee. Mr. Cantz.
Yeah, so we have one job description for approval today that was reviewed with the Job Classification Committee last week. This is for the Human Resources Leader. There have been some tweaks. This was formerly the Human Resource Director position. That position has been retitled and some adjustments made. Commissioner Brand's gonna talk about it a little bit deeper.
Yep. Hello again, Stephen Brand, Delaware County Commissioner's Office. So as Councilman Cantz stated, we're looking for a new leader of our Human Resources Department. We've taken this opportunity to modernize our job description and refine it to fit our needs. The job title did change. The purpose of that is a Human Resources Director in this area, makes about $95,000 to $136,000 a year. This line item that's in the budget right now is $54,700 a year, so we have 0% chance of recruiting a Human Resources Director. Additionally, a manager, a Human Resources Manager, would make in this area about $95,000 to about $105,000 a year, or a generalist would make about $75,000. So Human Resources Leader fits more in the scale that we can afford. I am going to come and ask for an additional $10,000 in the future to be put in this pay line. That'll be in the 2026 budget. In the meantime, I will probably backfill that, or we will backfill that with edit. So bringing that pay line to $64,700. That's the amount we're going to try to recruit with. The other changes to this job description are the work schedule. This particular position was on a 32.5-hour work schedule. And as we've replaced department heads in the commissioner's office, we have replaced those 32.5-hour work schedules with a traditional 40-hour work schedule. So you'll see that those core hours there are 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., Monday through Friday. That excludes lunch. If they want to take a 30-minute or 2-hour lunch, that's fine. They still need to get their work done. The question I have is on the job grade. I don't understand the job grades. This one was classified as an A which is the lowest classification. Do I have that proper?
Yes.
So I don't know if this would still be an A or not. That's up for debate.
Yeah, we didn't determine that in the meeting primarily because we weren't really dealing with the salary at the time, and it's not really in the budget yet. So I think that that's something that if the grade needs to be adjusted, that we'll take that back to the committee and adjust it for 2026.
Okay.
I don't think it really impacts it that dramatically. That's the executive A categorization, which is like to Commissioner Brand's point, sort of the lower end, but the variability in the executive department or areas is significant. So to me, it's a little less important. And given that the reduction, even though the salaries increased, the reduction in the title and other things, it may even out, so we'll have to look at that. But I think it's fine the way it is.
Yeah, and should you guys approve this today, it won't affect the recruitment process at all, whether it's an A or a B. Also on the first page, at the end of the first paragraph there under duties, it said Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA. I added Title VI. The reason I added Title VI is if you go to the third page, the fourth sentence down says serves as ADA coordinator for Title VI and for HIPAA officer. That's always been in there, so I just made it match on the front end. Also on the third page under job requirements, I did change that. It now reads high school diploma or high school equivalent required, degree in human resources, certificate preferred, or a proof of minimum 7 years of relevant experience in human resources, government, or an equivalent combination of education and experience. Prior to this amendment, it didn't require any kind of certification or formal training in human resources. Those are the only changes that I'm proposing.
So should the job category be executive, not exempt?
All executives are exempt.
I understand it's FSLA exempt, but
The category is EXE. It is, yeah. All the job descriptions, when we adjusted them, those categories were not adjusted at the same time, so they're mostly not accurate, but it should read category EXE, to your point.
EXE?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Still means they're exempt from the overtime laws per the Fair Labor Standard Act.
Correct. And we really probably need to look at these, and we can do that after you get somebody on board, because that category and the grade pertain to this doesn't necessarily pertain to the exempt, non-exempt, which should be another line, because there'll be instances where there are both.
I agree.
Okay.
There are very few job descriptions I currently agree with.
So we need a motion.
We do. Is that a motion?
Make the motion?
No, go ahead.
I'll make the motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve the HR job description and
Second.
All right, I have a motion by Dan and a second by Brad to approve the new human resource leader job description. Any further comments or questions? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Ms. Flanagan.
yes.
Mr. Hughes.
Yes.
Mr. Mokel. Yes. Mr. Bookout.
Yes.
Ms. Piper.
Yes.
Mr. Cantz.
Yes.
Mr. Wyatt.
Yes. Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you. To be clear, I need to change exempt to executive or just EXE, and then I can post it.
Yes, and you maybe just put a dash exempt if you want to keep it
Okay.
on there so it's clear.
Got it. Thank you.
All righty. Any other committees?
There was another job description forwarded to me by Ed, on a change from finance, a change to the finance deputy role. I did ask if Ed could help us provide like an org chart or something so everyone could kind of understand what the dynamic was, and he said there was no pressing issue, so I didn't bring it forward for today. We'll revisit it next month if you're okay with that. Okay.
All righty. Moving on to old business. The Delaware County Muncie Metropolitan Planning Commission interlocal agreement update. I want to thank Commissioner Brand for reaching out to the mayor and working on this, and if you might want to make your way to the podium in case you have anything to add to it, I would appreciate it. But it sounds like that the mayor has agreed to help us fund position there in the planning commission office. And if you have further details, I would be interested in hearing them.
Yeah, that's correct. I believe there was an original agreement sent over in 2024, maybe. And long story short, as Eugene has said, the mayor has agreed to fund at a rate of $25,000.
Was it 25?
I believe it was.
What we need to do now next is to make sure that all the paperwork gets signed and that once it is signed that, I guess invoices are properly sent.
Yep. Yeah, I believe there was agreement in spirit before, but an invoice was never sent, so it didn't get
Paperwork
paid.
didn't get
And that was
completed.
for 2023, and then it did not, and then it was in the edit plan for 24, nothing was said, and it did not get put in the edit plan for 2025 on the city side.
So just so I'm clear right now, the next step we need to have is paperwork sent to the mayor for signature.
Yes,
And this is for 2 years currently.
that's correct, because, you know, there are some lit tax changes coming in 28. The special use tax, which includes edit, is changing in 2028, so he didn't want to commit beyond that.
Once again, I want to thank you for the work that you did on this, and I think all of council will appreciate it, especially if we see the city chipping in on the planning commission department.
You're welcome.
Any other old business that's on the agenda? Any new business council wants to bring up that's not on the agenda? All right, moving on to elected officials and department heads. Mr. Catino. Okay.
Not John. Heidi Knuckles, EMA. We got a Duke Energy grant, and the commissioners have already created the ordinance. We just need a line item for that grant.
All righty, and the commissioners, like you said, have already approved everything
Yes.
and set up a fund number.
Yeah.
So we don't have to do anything, do we? No.
Are you,
Never got the fund number here. Funds created, money comes in, you ask for an appropriation. So for next month, right?
We have to prove to create the fund, don't we? If it's
We
in the
do?
fund.
I
Yes.
thought it was already created.
Yes.
Oh,
All right,
okay.
then I move that we create Fund 9217.
Second.
all right, motion made by Jessica, seconded by Dan. Any questions?
Ms. Flanagan.
Yes.
Mr. Hughes.
Yes.
Mr. Mokel.
Yes.
Mr. Bookout.
Yes.
Ms. Piper.
Yes.
Mr. Cantz. Yes. Mr. Wyatt.
Yes.
I'm confused because this ordinance says it established a fund entitled blah, 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 9217 with respect to these funds. We then have to do it also, because then it says such a non-reverting expenditure shall not require said fund shall not require appropriation by Delaware County Council.
It's not reverting.
So,
Correct.
but we still have to say yes.
Yes, Megan.
So the commissioners, yes, approved for them to apply for the grant, to get the grant, to accept the grant. They approved for the ordinance to be created, to have the fund line created, but you guys have to approve as well for the fund to be created, and you also have to create the line, so they can have that money put in
Doesn't happen very often, that's all.
there.
We like
Thanks.
it.
All right.
Thank you, Megan.
You're welcome.
Anything else, Heidi?
I don't think so.
All right, thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Other elected officials and department heads.
Ladies first.
Let's see who can talk more.
Sorry, I didn't get put on the agenda, but this just happened yesterday, and this is a positive note. Tanya Dunsmore, Chief Deputy Auditor. I had a meeting yesterday on Zoom with Baker Tilly, State Board of Accounts, and Forvis, which is our auditing companies. And I would just like to let everyone know, for the first time ever for Delaware County, we have finished our auditing process a month early. So I would like to give my thanks to all of these department heads who get back to us with all the information that we need. And I'd like to thank Keita, because she does a whole lot of work with the audits as far as our financial area goes. And I just appreciate it because I can relax once that is done, and it just looks good, and I'm very happy about it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Keith.
Well done.
Hello, Gavin Green, Delaware County Coroner. Sorry, I've been absent the past couple months, so I wanted to give you an update on the numbers from the coroner's office. I know it's a very fluid department when it comes to autopsies and our line items when it comes to all of our expenses. So currently, we have had 454 cases year to date. A case could either be an autopsy or it could be just a phone consult. I have myself, which is full-time, and then our chief deputy, Gary Venata, he's also full-time. We both work 5 days a week for the 24-hour shifts, and then we have part-time that will fill in on the weekends. So just wanted to give you a breakdown on that. So we're projected currently to be around 693 cases for 2025. And that's total number of calls, either an autopsy and or just a phone call from a hospital stating, hey, we had someone die, we want you to review this to see if you would accept this as a coroner's case or do you believe it's natural.
What was 2024?
What?
What was 2024?
I don't have those numbers in front of me, but I will. I'll bring those up next week. The other thing I wanted to bring up before budgets for next week is that I've already talked with Commissioner Brand a couple months ago. It is, and I've talked to our Coroners Association, it is a very widely known gentleman's agreement between pathologists that do our autopsies and county coroners of having contracts. With that being said, Delaware County does not have a contract currently with East Central Pathologist, Inc., who we contract with to do our autopsies. With that being said, no contract, there's no kind of rules to follow. They raised, I got a letter 2 months ago, that they raised our autopsy fees from $1,350 a case to $1,850. That was a huge raise. So then I called them and we negotiated and I talked. I said, look, they thought that our budgets, we started negotiating, doing budgets with you guys in November, December. And I said, no, it has to be due July 1st. I want to say I got this in the middle of June. And I said, so I can't do this. I said, this is going to blow everything out of the water. So what I did is I said, look, we can accept a partial increase for this year, and then I will budget for your current increase that you have asked for. I'm not guaranteeing it, but I'll budget that for my new budget for 2026. And they said, okay. So they went from $1,350 and we went up to a total amount of $1,350. So I got $100. They were getting $100 more per case. So instead of that huge $500 more, they did $100 more. So we've had a total spend of $131,000 year to date for autopsies.
How much was that?
$131,000. So with that being said, we're still gonna have money. We're still okay. We always budget to err on the side of caution so that we don't come back to you every month or every 3 months saying we need more, we need more. So it's just just like when they were talking about with claims, it's really hard to kind of determine. And so when I mentioned about Commissioner Brand is we've drafted a contract and had their legal team, the autopsy from East Central Pathologist, their legal team looking at the contract, just locking in everything for us to make sure that they can't just willy-nilly, the middle of June, throw on a $500 increase. So I just
is
wanted
under
to,
contractual services.
yes, it was all combined.
Bring your breakdown.
Yeah. So, I just wanted to give everybody the heads up on that. And so, when you see that large increase, I am going to be putting in notes. I don't know about everyone's else, feelings on the new budget system. I sat down, it took me
20 minutes. It took me longer to remember my password that I had set up 3 minutes earlier. But I love the new budget system. It's great with all the notes. You should be able to have all of your answers for every single line item before your eyes next week. So hope it'll be a lot easier for you guys. So with all of that being said, are there any questions? I do want to also bring up real quick, we've had commissioners come down and talk to us. We've had council people, we've had other elected officials call. I just wanted to bring up, and I know that we're live streaming also, we will get medical records from time to time. The state of Indiana, every single doctor in the state of Indiana should be registered what's in the state system called DRIVE. It's the database for vital records. And that is the area that we sign death certificates. If someone dies of a natural cause and there is no circumstance that the coroner should be involved, those patients should be signed out by their primary care physician. With that being said, a doctor can say, I'm not going to sign. Well, that is nothing that we can fight them on. That's with the State Department of Health. Why I bring this up is there's been elected officials that have been contacted saying that the coroner's office is sitting on medical records, death certificates, whatever. And what we do is we will try to take care of those as fast as we can. But when it comes to medical records, our pathologist, we have her look at those. And if she has active cases that are true coroner's cases, where you have a homicide, someone that died unnaturally, farm accident, those will take precedent over one that should have died naturally and the doctor should have signed off. But the doctor is, quite frankly, there are lazy doctors out there that just don't want to sign up for this system. And the state of Indiana is trying to take care of them. So if you ever get any phone calls or anything, please, everyone has my cell phone. Please call me. I know that we just had a really upset person right now that we're trying to get records because this person had passed away, but it's been 20 weeks. And we like to turn everything around between 6 to 8 weeks because that's how long toxicology and our reports take. So I just wanted to give everybody kind of a public information, FYI, of that's how we process everything first and foremost. Okay.
All righty.
All right, thank you.
Questions for Gavin? Thank you. Fred.
So we'll categorize this as a heads up, an observation, and a request. Those are my three things today, right? So a heads up. Our current radio system for the county goes end of life in 2030. I know that sounds like a long ways away. It's really not. I've started the process. I've had a conversation with a couple of the commissioners. We got a budgetary quote of $2 million. It's actually 2.005 million. The question comes in of how we're going to fund that. And so one of the conversations I had with Commissioner Brand was having a discussion with the commissioners and the council. You discussed a rainy day fund today, but creating a capital reserve fund, okay, where expenses such as this start to have money put into what I call a savings account, right? Because on top of the $2 million radio system, we will go end of life with the phone system at a date to be determined, but they're typically pretty close to each other. They have not announced that yet. Motorola did announce that the end of life on the current radio system. So as a heads up, probably in 2029, we're going to have about $2 million to replace a radio system because we have to replace it before 2030 when it goes end of life. Okay, so that's the heads up. The observation is, Mr. Mokel hit something on the head today that I've been saying since I came to Delaware County. I don't understand the purpose before going to this meeting of going to a finance committee meeting to have a discussion about appropriations and transfers. Because typically, in my experience, they've all been either favorable or just made mention that it just needs to go to the council. And every appropriation or transfer request I've done, I've got up at this podium and said the same thing that I said in a finance meeting. So to Mr. Mokel's point from earlier, the finance committee meeting to me, as a department head, is really a waste of time. And I've said that since I've come here. I'm gonna bring it up again because he mentioned it today. I don't understand the purpose behind that because there's only 3 of you in a room. You can't make a decision. Yes, you can hear what we have to say, but we stand up at the podium and we explain and answer the same questions that we answer in that meeting. I don't see a purpose to that, which segues into my other request or recommendation. I've said since I've come here that it is a huge detraction to only have 1 council meeting per month. That was evidenced today, all right, by an example of we have a bill that's due September 1st, right? My frustration since I have been here is that if you have an appropriation request and you miss the deadline by 1 day, you push that out a month and a half. I would like to see the council look into the possibility of having 2 meetings a month so that there are more opportunities to deal with appropriation requests and everything else that we have to deal with. I don't think that's a huge ask. I want you to look into it. I mean, the commissioners have 2 meetings a month. It will streamline the process and not stymie us from doing what we need to do. The appropriation deadline for this month, for example, if I got something the very next day, I can't do anything about it for a month and a half. Doesn't matter what it is because of the posting requirements. So my recommendation and request to you is that you research whether or not having 2 meetings a month makes a lot more sense to be able to do county business more efficiently. And I would implore you to really look at that, because that's something that I've noticed is a detraction since I came here. And I brought this up several times, and it was evidenced today because we have a bill that's come due and it's due before it's probably gonna be able to be paid, right? A lot of that stuff wouldn't happen if we went to 2 meetings a month and had a roving schedule of when appropriation requests and everything else had to be in. So I am making a request to this council, number 1, to look at the benefit of the finance committee and having meetings before the meetings, right? Because I don't see a purpose to them. And number 2, to look at going to 2 meetings a month. Because I think there's enough business in this county that justifies having 2 meetings a month. So that's all I got to say.
All righty, thank you, Fred. Stephen.
Stephen Brand, Delaware County Commissioner's Office again. Good news, we hired a county engineer, a young man named Dean Thomas. He's a Rose Holman graduate. He is a degreed civil engineer. His first day on the job will be September 29th, which I believe is the last Monday of this month. And then we will have him come to your October meeting and of next month, last Monday of next month. And we'll have him come in October and introduce himself to you guys.
Good. Thank you, appreciate that.
Thank you.
Any more elected officials or department heads? Would you look out there and see if anybody signed up for public comment, please? It doesn't matter either one. I believe I know the first name on there was Miss Mears, is that correct? You go right ahead, please.
Good morning. My name is Julie Mears. I am the Executive Director of the Muncie, Delaware County Area Senior Citizens Council Incorporated. I will tell you that's quite the mouthful to say when you answer the phone, so we're commonly known as the Muncie, Delaware County Senior Center. Also, the Muncie Senior Center or the Senior Center, call us what you will. Today, I would like to introduce to you the Muncie, Delaware County Senior Center. I want to tell you a little bit about us. Our mission is to enhance the quality of life for seniors 55 plus and veterans of all ages in Delaware County, Indiana, and the surrounding areas. As you may or may not know, seniors are the most forgotten generation. We serve, in the month of July, we serve 284 unique individuals. 91 of those strictly came to our Veterans Coffee Club the first Saturday of the month. Now, we have a sign-in system, so whenever somebody comes to the senior center, they have to sign in. Our sign-in received 1,639 scans. So out of those 284 individuals, they attended they attended and or scanned 1,639 times. We are the premier senior center in multiple counties. We have people from many counties come to us because we offer the most. We have the most events, the most clubs, the most just things to do, right? Our entire focus at the senior center is to combat boredom, isolation, to reduce seniors' population of their mental health, like to reduce their mental health episodes. In fact, we are currently working with the social worker department and the Muncie Police Department, and we are offering a mental health support group called Circle of Support, because they are beginning to see more and more calls from or about seniors experiencing mental health episodes. I would like to talk to you today about what's happened at the Muncie Senior Center. The Muncie Senior Center, as well as Goodwill, the Muncie Mission, the Ross Center, Motivate Our Minds, Christian Ministries, and many other nonprofit organizations in this county, but many thousands across the entire nation, were released of participants that were hired through a federal government program. It's the Older Americans Act. Under that program, under that act, there is a program called the Senior Community Employment Service Program. This program hires low-income seniors to teach them jobs training skills so that they can better their life after they leave the program. Now, we are just one of the organizations in town that had people that program hired, the administrator for that program hired and placed in nonprofits in our area. Unfortunately, the Muncie Senior Center is the only location that my entire staff was through that program. So on July 1st of this year, it became just me running the entire center. So at that point in time, I lost 5 of my staff. We have a secondhand store called Edie's Boutique and Thrift. When we lost the staff, obviously I'm one person. I cannot run the office and do all the normal things that my job requires, plus take the roles of the other office workers and run the store. So our store has been closed. Why is this important? Because that store generates between $1,000 and $2,000 a month just at being open 20 hours a week, which is one other thing. The program, when I came to this position a year and a half ago, the participants were working 40 hours a week. Then that was 32, then it was 28, and then it was 20. And then we went to nothing. So our store for many months was only open for 20 hours a week, and we're still generating $1,000 to $2,000 a month. This is hurting us because we rely on those funds. Our electric bill in the summer runs $2,500. So that's not even quite our electric bill, and that's a lot of money for a small nonprofit.
Ms.
We're in a
Mears,
very old building.
if you could wrap it up pretty quickly, we've given
Yes,
you an
sir.
extra minute.
Yes, sir. The reason I'm here today is to specifically ask you to consider the Muncie Senior Center in helping us to sponsor our thrift store, so that we can reopen it. We need to reopen it. We need that income. We need to hire a person, preferably 2, to work in that store so that we can get that money. That income is very, very important to our bottom line, and it helps us to stay open.
All righty. Well, we appreciate you being here. Thank you very much.
Yep.
We'll take that under consideration.
Thank you.
Chuck, did you have some?
2 more individuals. One I seriously doubt is correct. Sirius Nacho Libre, and then Rick Yenser.
All righty, Mr. Yenser.
That's my name.
Since we gave Ms. Mears an extra minute, we'll give you the same allotted time.
Need more than 2 minutes.
All righty.
Rick Yenser, newsman and author. I think this episode's called Taxation. I was here last winter when you passed a measure to, well, it sounded like opposing property tax relief. It was granted by the governor. And I've heard nothing this summer from government and education about they're losing money. We got to raise taxes. Well, I just witnessed one government, Delaware County, that raised taxes, doubling the excise tax out in Yorktown. I hope because you haven't mentioned anything about budgets, because you're gonna start reviewing next year's budget next week. And I hope you make that public to the people, like we the people, the taxpayers, so we know, frankly, I don't care what you spend, I just wanna know if you're going to raise taxes, because I see a program going around here in central Indiana that everybody wants to raise taxes. Somebody mentioned today, little itty bitty changes in the income tax, which are going to allow the city, the county, and Yorktown to impose their own income taxes. It's kind of like the change they made in the excise tax. And hopefully, even though I've heard talk, I don't think any government in Delaware County is going to raise taxes this year. They shouldn't, because I think you all know assessments went through the roof this year. I think this is a base year that they changed the law some time ago, where everybody gets an automatic increase, whether it's personal, real estate, homes, businesses, farms. And I've heard enough noise in all the social media sites that I usually use to tell people a story that they're really upset over how much property tax they paid. Frankly, I think, well, I guess the mayor's gonna have a little press conference outside City Hall today to talk about the budget and taxes. I would hope too that you tell the people what you're doing next week during the hearings, so that we know and are assured that we aren't going to see any more tax increases in '26.
All right, thank you for your comments. All right, comments from council. Nobody wants to?
Oh, sure, I'll say a couple things. Point of clarity, we do have a property tax relief in our local income tax, just to be clear. Currently, as it stands, that all changes in 2028, so there will be adjustments to local income tax. Our budget hearings do start on the 3rd of September. They will be live streamed to the public, and you're welcome to attend.
Council, don't sneak out too quick because we need to figure out who's bringing what's next. So don't sneak out after you sign your paperwork.
I'll follow up what Matt has said. Prior to the budget hearings, there is a public comment period, so the public will be allowed to speak before we start our budget hearings. I know commissioners have mentioned it, and I'd like to repeat it, the Know Before training program that is required by all county employees. It really does need to be done. It's for the safety of all. So I'm making that public announcement as well. The good news from the auditor's office about the audits, thank you for all the hard work. Thank you for the budget books. Do I hear any other comments?
I actually do have one more that you reminded me of one thing. The IT committee has been meeting on a regular basis to review the possibility of a transition or test driving the Google Workspace applications, which would be a potential replacement for a majority of the Microsoft applications that we use today, particularly email. That trial is embarking with the auditor's office, some folks from IT, Jessica and I, and who else am I forgetting? I don't remember. But we have a core group that's going to kind of be test driving that solution to see if it's something that we may want to consider in the future. So there'll be no major changes for anybody, and it'll be just a trial access that everyone will be utilizing. They will get a new email address that they'll be able to test drive as well. So there's some work being done on that as we speak.
All right, thank you, Matt. Anybody else? Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Jessica, second by Dan. Roll call, please.
Ms. Flanagan.
Yes.
Mr. Hughes.
Yes.
Mr. Mokel.
Yes.
Mr. Bookout.
Yes.
Ms. Piper.
Yes.
Mr. Cantz.
Yes.
Ms. Wyatt.
Yes. All right, thank you all. Our next regularly scheduled meeting is September 23rd at 9 a.m. We'll see you next week for budget hearings.